In this part, let's just set up our environment, and we're going to use Visual Studio with WSL. And our WSL, currently we have Ubuntu 22.04 installed with Ansible. So usually you'll find when you look at other tutorials, you'll find that somebody doing the tutorial, they'll just make a directory. Let's call it tuts for tutorials. And then inside of this directory, they'll have their files and other directories for their project. We can cd into that directory, and we can create another directory, mkdir. So if you want to make a directory without going inside of it multiple times, you can just use something like mkdir-p and give the directory a name, and all the subdirectories that you list will be created. In this case, I've already done it this way, so I'll just make another directory and let's call it Ansible. I'll call it Ansible 1 because I don't know how many Ansible tutorials I'm going to do. So inside of that main project, we can even cd inside of it, Ansible. So we're inside of that directory. So usually you'll find if somebody wants to do demonstrations in this tutorial, so you'll probably find that they will create the file, and I don't know whether vim is installed. Let me just use vi. In our case, let's say we want to create an inventory file. Inventory, and I will use the YAML. No, for now, let me just leave it as that, as an ini file. If it doesn't have an extension, it will be assumed to be ini. So I'm just going to enter. We can enter our hosts inside here. So maybe web. Let me just come here and copy some things because I don't want to type. So we can just assume that this is our inventory file, right? And I'll just remove that. Escape dd will delete that line. And then if I want to save this, shift ZZ, that will save it as our inventory file. You can see, I mean, you can work on the terminal with all this, but why do this while you can use Visual Studio? So I don't know whether I have WSL for Visual Studio installed. Let me just confirm. But all you need to do is install Visual Studio. Here under apps, come here and search for WSL. WSL. Let's see. Okay, so I've already installed mine. If yours is not installed, click there on install and it will install it. And once you install it, you can open, let's see that. If you click on that, you can open connect to WSL. You can connect to WSL. Let's click there on connect to WSL. So you can see down here, it is starting VS Code in WSL, Debian. So if you look down here, you're going to see it is starting VS Code in WSL for Debian. And I don't want to use Debian because I'm using Ubuntu for this. So I'm just going to click on it again, and then I can close remote connection. And then I will open remote desktop, remote window again. And then I will click on connect to WSL using distro. So when I click there, I can choose the distro that I want to use. And I want to use Ubuntu 22.04, which is already installed. And it's going to install the server. And this is going to enable me to write my code on Visual Studio Code without having to do everything in the WSL command line. So we're going to see how we can open this file in WSL in Visual Studio, and then we can start writing our code. Once the installation for the server is complete, for the WSL server is complete, you can come in here and you can open any file inside of your Ubuntu, Debian, whichever distro you're running in WSL. WSL has downloaded the server, and now we just need to update now. Let's update it now. And that's going to restart VS Code. And now we are in the remote environment. So you can see it's still starting VS Code in WSL mode. Okay, there we go. So everything is running WSL Ubuntu. If you look at this highlight down here, you'll see WSL Ubuntu 22.04. Now it's running. You can open a folder. And if you click to open a folder, it will bring you here. Or you can click show local, and that's going to open your local directory. But we want to open a folder connected to the remote. it will show you everything, all the folders that are currently created. And this is the one that we've just created. This is the one I just created using make directory command. So this is the one I'm going to open. Let me open this one because this will be my root directory. And then click OK. Do you trust the authors? Yes, I trust the authors. And inside there, we have an inventory that we've just created. So if you want to do anything like run something, you can just do it here using the terminal, the integrated terminal. Open in integrated terminal, and we can try Ansible inventory -- list, and it's going to list the inventories which are there. Unfortunately, it lists this because we haven't created a CFG file. We're going to create an Ansible configuration file, and the configuration file, we're going to tell it which inventory to use. So in this case, Ansible inventory -- list, we want it to list for our inventory, which is just called inventory. So you use -i to specify the inventory that you want to use. We're going to look at all this in a moment. So this is just an example. So you can see when we do this, it's going to show us all our hosts, and these are the hosts that we currently have in our inventory. So in the next part, let's talk about Ansible configuration. That's actually what we were supposed to do in this part, but I just realized that we needed to use Visual Studio instead of doing everything via the Ubuntu command line here. So now you know how you can set up VS Code with WSL. And if you need to add folders, you can create new folder, new file. You can add a new folder there. Maybe you want your playbooks to be there. You'll put your playbooks in there. And when you create it, if you go to the command line on WSL and you check ls, you should see that your playbooks directory has been created there as well. And even here, if I create another directory, mkdir, we can just call it files, enter. It's going to show up here as well in Visual Studio Code. Now you know how you can work with it. If you want to close the connection, you can just click there and you can close remote connection. Let's move on to the next part.